A warm welcome to our school platform. This is our Leader Speak series. This is an initiative of Skoolz to connect parents and the schools along with the leadership. So this is where our parent community is getting all their questions answered, knowing their school and school leadership a little better. So welcome, sir.
Thank you, Swapna. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So I would like to introduce sir to everybody, our parent community and our other viewers. Mr. Kiran Sidde is the founder director of EduShrine and the RITE. That's very close to his heart. Sir will probably tell us a little bit more in the coming minutes. He is also the secretary of New Citizen School and Montessori House. Sir, welcome again. I would also like to take this opportunity to tell everybody that sir is an author and he's a global certified career counselor and a certified life skill coach. And I personally am looking forward to know the spectrum of his writing skills. He has addressed academic subjects to parenting skills. So that's something we are really looking forward to getting to know. So thank you for coming here again. Welcome. Sir, in the school, how is a typical day for a child?
See, we in our school, New Citizen School, we believe in keeping the proceedings vibrant. At any moment, starting from 8:45 a.m. when the child walks into the school for their prayer assembly and other things, until 4 p.m. when he or she leaves the school, anyone walks into the school and looks at the proceedings, they should find smiles in child. No way they should be mentally exhausted or tired. So this vibrancy and liveliness is something we always look for. And that's how we plan our day-to-day activities also. So once you visit our school and spend a day there, you will be able to understand that in a series of activities which are a little beyond education, a little beyond regular class activities, which will keep the child active enough throughout the day so that they come smiling, they go smiling, and they remain smiling at home. So end of the day, we wish to, we wish the children could carry that energy home also. So that any tensions that parents have, even parents should be revitalized because of children's energies. That's what we try at. Looks theoretical, but we are trying our best to make it.
Sir, I'm sure we would find happy, smiling children in the campus. So this looks like a very, not a very formal way of education, because formal education is strict, structured, and there's a traditional guidelines to go. So what is your take on that, sir? So,
see, formal education, as you rightly mentioned, there should be a structured way of doing things. There should be scheduling. There should be assessments. There should be certification at the end of it. Yeah. Any school which is affiliated to a given board has to do all these things. And we also obviously do it. But there are certain things which cannot be kept formal, I can tell you. For example, I want to conduct a debate or elocution kind of activity. If I say, even you have marks for this and your pass out certificate will be decided based on this performance also, that creates pressure in the child. So he or she will not be able to open up and participate in it, which is exactly against the objectives of that particular activity. See, sadly, we are being provided from the government textbooks for physical education. How formal can you get? See, this is what is something we don't believe in. Making everything formal is something we don't believe in. We wish to make certain aspects informal in a given day. So that's why we have got a set of activities also. For example, in the morning when first hour has to start, we have got an activity called Spin and Speak, which everyone knows. But what we made there is, we have ensured a timetable for children for that, wherein in a given week, entire class, everyone in the class would have spoken by Saturday. So we give a schedule. This day, these 3 children will speak. This day, these 3 children. So they just walk in, spin their wheel in the classroom, get their topic, speak 2 minutes. Like that in a given classroom, in a given day, 3 children or 4 children might be there. These children, after them speaking at least for 2 minutes like that, spending 10 minutes towards that only, the regular academic activities will start. And I don't have any marks allotted for it, but I have gifts allotted for it, which is absolutely informal. So children are exchanging their ideas while speaking to each other and then learning. So that should be absolutely informal. Same manner, we have got something called word editing. We have divided it into two sections, primary and high school section, junior and senior section. So each of them will have a board where there is a word wheel. One child, or in rotation, one child will allot a word for the day, and rest of the children, the meaning they understood for the word, and they use the word in their own sentences, and that will be written on the notice board signed by each other, adjacent to what their ideas about that word or the meaning of the word or how it has to be put in use and all. So again, for this, I don't have any marks. The best performers by the end of the month will get some gifts from this, which is again informal. Similarly, we have got a dedicated soft skill trainer in the school. As we know, one of the surveys says that 47% of Indian employees lose their job in first 18 months due to lack of soft skills. And when HR managers were surveyed, saying one with very good hard skills, very good technical skills, but not too good at soft skills, and the one with very good soft skills, very good dedication, sincerity, but very a little poor in technicality or hard skills. Whom do you choose, Andaga? More than 87% of the HR managers preferred the one with poorer hard skills but better soft skills. They say average age of the people joining a job is 25 to 30. And that is an age where I cannot teach them soft skills. If they are technically poor, I can conduct trainings, I can build their knowledge, not an issue. But teaching soft skills has to happen from the childhood. At that stage, molding them in that way is very difficult. So this is something we believe that they have to have soft skills in order to survive in the future. So we have got a dedicated soft skill trainer. This guy will be giving activities in the classroom and ensuring that everyone participates. Doing these things, what we are trying to do is keep at least 30% of our day-to-day activities as informal as possible.
Sir, this is really very assuring for me, and I'm sure for many of the parents, because this is a place where children are learning and progressing. This is not about running behind a score. This seems to be a place where you learn, progress.
Absolutely.
Not
To add to your
behind
statement, see, suppose there is a child who completed his or her 10th class, or there is a child who completed his or her 11th or 12th class. You ask them to go out and earn a rupee, they'll be confused what to do. So even after degrees, honestly speaking, there are many degrees in which they pass out having the degree, but again, they are not trained for anything. So our formal education sometimes is becoming a mere certificate provider in few cases, I could say, confidently. So that should be avoided. Suppose there is a child who finished 12th class and suddenly a situation comes in life where he or she has to take care of life at an young age before even they get an age to. There is suppose a front office executive job open, let's say for example. So this child should be confident enough to go attend an interview, face them and tell them, yes, I am suitable for this job, though I am not trained for it, because I have those skills. So this is what we are trying to make them ready for the future.
So very appreciable ideologies and being implemented. They're not ideologies anymore. You are implementing it, so that's very heartening. Sir, how do you make sure that your staff and faculty align to these ideas and ideologies?
That's very important also. See, how much ever you plan, how much ever you give resources, if the people executing it are not exactly implementing them, it's of no use. So for this, what we do the changes starting from recruitment level. During recruitment only, we have got a code of conduct that is being signed by the teacher, wherein we mention the ideologies of the institution, and only if you could come in line with these and really dedicate to it, please join. Otherwise, you have your own chances in other places. But this is not a place where we want to just make an education. For example, recently we took a nursery trained teacher as an assistant teacher for Montessori. We have a trained Montessorian, but to assist her, we took a teacher. And in the absence of this trained Montessorian, one day the trained Montessorian was on leave, and I could see this nursery teacher, one of the number rods. There is an activity called number rods in Montessori. Using the length of the rod, they teach numbers. So she is holding one of the number rods to control a child. we immediately, and unfortunately, that was just the second day. We did not finish her training yet. And she did not sign the code of conduct also because of some administrative inconveniences. So that I saw immediately. I called her and ensured she read the code of conduct. She signed it. And then while I was sending her back, I was telling her, with the stick in your hand, she was telling that there is one child who is very vigorous. I did not know how to control him. I told, with the stick in your hand, the child is going to become worse. It is the environment and love with which you can. So second thing we do, apart from getting them sign the code of conduct, second thing we do is giving these sessions wherein we explain them how important is the environment. You know very well the popular nature versus nurture debate. Nature is something what the characters children get from genetics, and nurture is something what the characters they develop with environment. And a science called epigenetics has already proved that you can make changes at genetic level if you provide right environment for them. This we make them understand in the beginning through 1 or 2 training sessions clear. Third thing we do is we make promises to parents openly by seating our teachers around. We conduct PTMs, in one of the recent PTMs also, that's what we did. Apart from meeting teachers one-to-one, they'll be having a common gathering. In common gathering, we clearly tell, for example, none of your children will be physically handled in this school, that's my promise. And this promise is made in front of every teacher to the parents. Similarly, none of your children will be abused in the school. We believe in loving them, caring them, and getting the reciprocation from them, though it would be late. So even you people have to cooperate this. Accordingly, we take into confidence. So we make promises to parents in the presence of teachers so that teachers become aware that this is what is expected from us. Number 4, most importantly, anything should be always given and taken. So keep them comfortable in terms of every additional effort they put beyond what, see, it needs a lot of additional effort if all these ideas have to be implemented. So we don't merely go by salary. Any additional effort that they put will be honored accordingly. Otherwise, there should be proper motivation, right? If, how long can I motivate them through words? And everyone needs their survival. So if they are able to earn a more penny, 1 more penny by doing these additional activities for the children, and they'll be willing also. Within the schooling hours, I'm providing them OT without doing OT. Indirectly, to put in simple words, I can tell you. So that is something obviously motivates them to take up these tasks. That we have to do. I can call them incentives simply. That we do.
Very, very. As I've already used the word heartening, but that's the word that really is coming to me. Very really great to know that learning is definitely at the center, the heart of the thing. But you've also sensitized your faculty and to the issues of the child, and it's fantastic to know that the importance of nurture has been picked up and been worked on. And the parents are reassured by your promises and keeping that word. Lots of respect for that, sir. So here, a child's overall development is definitely addressed at the school, but there has always been, and I'm sure will be, a section of children, few children who suffer from either inferiority complex, or they are very shy, or social skills, lack in social skills, for whatever their reasons. They do not fully participate in any school event or activities. So what's the plan to make these children more comfortable and be the best that they can?
See, actually, partly I have answered your question already, because if you see the spin and speak activity, or the word a day activity, or soft skill activity, which I mentioned previously, this is something that ensures every child is participating.
Mm-hmm.
So for few children who are already vibrant from the very second attempt, third attempt, they'll be in line. Whereas the children, shy children like you mentioned, they might need some time, but they are made to participate. And we have given instructions to teachers in such a way that such children should be often, means generally don't go by your standard judgment. Like spoken like this, so we have to give so many marks, so accordingly we should give them. You already know the background of the child. Using the background of, keeping the background of the child in mind, how better he has done. So if he or she has done better than previous, please honor them that month with very good gifts, which will be an encouragement. Likewise, so when for the first time they come onto the stage and collect some gifts for their performance, obviously that further boosts them, interest in them to participate more, and at the same time that reduces the shyness also slowly. It is a time-taking process, but absolutely we need to ensure every child is involved on a rotation basis in these activities. If we make it group, certain group activities will be there, but in this case we make those activities absolutely individual. A very classic example for this, I'll tell you. There was a batch of 4 boys who have joined recently, last year ending, almost during pandemic, almost after the schools were open, they joined. And for 1 year almost, they were nowhere actually. They were not studying anywhere. Now what happened, we noticed that not only they are academically poor, but also they are very mum in the class, very silent in class. And there were 1 or 2 demo sessions I was taking, for which the teacher was teaching and I was sitting there. And teacher was asking questions, the demo teacher was asking questions, and these children were not opening their mouth. And when individually asked, they were sitting very calm. Now, last week, we had a similar session. I was taking an English demonstration. And the teacher was teaching, and I could see whom we felt the dullest. Those boys getting up, participating, answering the questions, speaking up. I was very happy, though it was me who was planning everything. I'll be skeptical generally, right? How much of this works. When I saw that, I was excited, and after the session was over, I said, I'm very happy now the way you participated. What happened? Then they were mentioning their soft skill trainer, Mr. Yashwant. They said, sir, Yashwant sir took many sessions about losing our stage fear and gave us some inputs about what exactly they remembered from Yashwant's sessions is, every opportunity is a stage pull. It's not that only when you go and stand on the stage, you showcase your skills. Every opportunity is a stage for you, so consider and participate. And that triggered their interest somewhere. So they started involving, which was very enlightening for me. That is when I felt, okay, things are working. So I was very happy. So
I would say things are working wonderfully well, sir. And such wisdom. Every opportunity is a stage to showcase, to come forward.
Yeah.
So you have definitely ensured a child is nurtured and is given the best academically and learning everything. The other concern any parent would have is a physical safety and an assurance of privacy. Sir, how is this addressed?
Now, when you use the word safety, nowadays we have a new word, COVID safety also. So both health and other issues become. One thing, sanitization of the premises happens regularly. We have a dedicated team of housekeeping people. And it is interesting to know that one of the heads of housekeeping has been there since 20 years.
Okay.
This school is a 20-year-old school. This school is the 20-year old school, which we took over recently, and we have been bringing a lot of transformations in the school. But this lady, though managements changed, she did not change. And she has a team under her. So she takes care of very good hygiene. Apart from that, we have been repeatedly telling children to be, there. Yeah, every day we are checking their temperatures and all. We are ensuring they wear masks, and teachers also, as long as possible, they'll be in mask sanitization going on. That is COVID safety protocols we are following as strictly as possible. Even for young children, the Montessori children, we are trying to follow as much COVID safety rules as possible. Apart from that, CC camera circuit is absolutely there. There is a dedicated office admin who is sitting before CC camera and observing. There are 2 gates for the school. One is to the main road, the other one is to the colony side, both of which will be kept closed during the class hours and ensure no trespassing happens. And there will be CC cameras monitoring both the doors continuously. So these are certain safety precautions we are taking. Apart from that, the area being very populous, there is not much thing to worry. It's a very busy area, very adjacent to the main road. So not too much worry about the safety issues. Also.
Definitely, a child is definitely nurtured and protected in this. As sir, there's then the parental concern never ends when it comes to a child. So now you have taken care of the physical and the education, the learning. The parent would next worry about the future. So any career guidance or, pathways set for the child for the future? Any
As you
help?
rightly mentioned, I'm a global career counselor by myself, and when I was taking the training, I was always wondering, module by module, when I was learning it, I was always wondering, what if this is made part of education? So this is something missing in education, I was seriously feeling. So obviously, when I do a school, I'll be ensuring that will be incorporated. Regarding careers, one very important thing is, I have been doing these career counselings before I was certified also. I was doing career counseling since 12 years almost. And whenever parents meet me for these things, they ask, sir, how is this field? How is that field? I have never seen a parent coming and asking me, which field suits my child? So there are two options. Go in search of number one field, or check in which field your child will be number. And success is guaranteed in second case. Everyone wants to become engineer, everyone wants to become doctor. Doesn't happen because there are very limited. So the biggest problem in that thinking, which field is number one, is people are already getting themselves ready to be part of huge competition. A classic example for that is, by end of this year, 2021, means we are already in December.
Yeah.
2.5 lakh artificial intelligence and data science jobs are waiting for RITE professionals. On the other side, 8 to 10 lakh engineering graduates every year are waiting for jobs. Yes, please understand, there are jobs, there are graduates, but there are no jobs for graduates and there are no graduates for jobs.
Mismatch of us.
Absolutely. So we are not understanding what is going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years and not getting us ready for this. Now every engineering college has become aware and started providing artificial intelligence courses. By then it will reach a saturation and all the jobs will be full, again competition. So that is where I feel, because this keeps changing, society keeps evolving, so that the demand for courses or demand for professionals keeps changing. So instead of worrying about which field is number one, you worry about in which field you will become number one. For that, two things have to be assessed. One is capacity, second one is interest. Yeah. Any field you choose matching these two qualities, you will be surely number one. For that, we have certain tools, for example, DMIT, dermatoglyphic multiple intelligence technique, which is devised by these guys, a set of neurobiologists led by Howard Gardner. This is a technique where they link the fingerprints of all the 10 fingers with the development in brain. It has its own limitations. We can't say it is an absolutely proven theory, but still it can give an idea of inborn capacities of the child. It can be done from an age of 3 years onwards. And the science behind it is that during whatever the stages a child brain is developed in the mother's womb, during the same stages the fingerprints also are developed, it seems. The practical evidence for that is there is a congenital disease called anencephaly, child born without brain. Generally, such children perish within few hours, but in the history, few children survived for 2 to 3 years. Children who survived for 2 to 3 years without brain did not develop their fingerprints also during that age, which proves that there is a direct link, and using that, these guys have developed DMIT. So this tool gives a 68-page report about inborn talents and behavior pattern of the child. Secondly, we go for psychometric assessment. See, this is something they came with, inborn talents. Then as they grew, suppose I am assessing a child of 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, 13-year-old. As they grew, they would have developed their own interests while developing knowledge. So through a set of 80 to 100 questions, we try to bring out their subconscious, what they love most. This is, any psychology graduate does that, psychometric assessments. Psychometric assessments put into career assessment will be very useful. We do psychometric assessment for multiple requirements, and we have some of them for career assessments also. Through these tools, we tell children what exactly suits them. Among 120 courses, 120 different courses, we give them which is best for them. Like we give a star rating will be given at the end. For this, on a scale of 5, how much would this suit you? So he can pick up all the courses for which he gets a 5-star rating. And then among them, what he or she would love most, they can choose. Likewise, we do career guidance also, so that by the time they pass out from us, they should be confident.
Excellent, sir. Not only getting a guidance about your future path, but that guidance is backed by experience and science. So, and knowledge. And you're making sure it's not just one, there is two metrics that are brought together and bringing the best of it. I'm very sure students have a little bit more insight about the future, and parents are also assured. On that note, sir, how much of a parental participation would you appreciate in academic year?
If
you
you
have
want me
everything
to,
sorted.
I understand. See, because you said how much, if you want me to put it exactly in numbers, I would say 33%. You know very well. It's three parts of the triangle we always say, right? Institution and teachers one side, student one side, and parent one side. So parent has to take that 33% responsibility. See, where the lacking happens is, I mean, two problems I can notice. One is, in school, we think so much and we provide one kind of environment. And they go home, they provide a different kind of environment. Then absolutely, things will, means child will be confused in that heterogeneous situation. He will not be able to understand the things. There I find this like this. Yeah. Suppose we want to keep the classes vibrant, we want to keep the activities vibrant. And he goes home and suddenly he notices, oh, things are worried about always, small problems are made bigger. Again, child will be confused. What's right, what's wrong, what's the right way to think. So that's why we are planning, it is yet to be implemented. We are planning to make parents part of school by saying one day parent teacher opportunity. Like in a year, on a rotation basis, I can invite one parent to be part of classroom activities. So on a rotation basis, the parent can come, sit in the classroom, observe, notice the proceedings of the school and all. So that way what happens, they will understand how much of effort we are putting to keep their child vibrant. Okay. And that creates a little positive atmosphere in them to go back and create a similar environment at home. And that's what we are trying to, especially we want to do this necessarily in Montessori. Yes. I am skeptical a little about its practical implementations in primary and high school, but Montessori though we can surely do because they are all activities. Yes. So if we make the parent also as a student for one day and she observes what kind of presentations we give to the children and how children use those play and learn equipment in Montessori, she will also be interested to go back, purchase some of them at home, create such an environment so that at least 1 or 2 activities are made available at home for the child. So this is what we are planning. So otherwise we kind of a mirror reflection at home and school. So the child is not confused. The child is very clear about what is expected and how the growth happens. Absolutely. It's really fantastic, sir. And even for the parent, it will be a clear path how to better help their child. And they should also understand that I sit before TV, I use mobile regularly, and I expect my child to be gadget free. Cannot happen. So they should also be able to do some sacrifices. I have a 2.5-year child, and once she reached a sensible age, it was around 1 year, 3 months, I think. I packed the TV at home and I've kept it in my office. You can see it is in the adjacent room. I purchased it just 7 or 8 months back, a new version of TV I was purchasing, a larger screen and all. But once I had a child, I packed it up and I kept it here. And I'm very confident that my child is at least 1.5 years ahead of her age because we made her busy in activities. So in terms of language speaking, in terms of recognizing numbers, in terms of doing activities, doing jigsaw puzzles, see, she can put 64 pieces of jigsaw together within that we could achieve only because we made her gadget free. And we don't use mobile before her. Even if we use, we tell her what purpose we are using and what should be the limitation. So my child never watches TV, my child never watches mobile. Same thing if the parents in my school are doing, then I'll be able to do better in this school. Otherwise, I pull them towards one side with my activities and education, and they pull, if I pull 5 steps, they pull 10 steps ahead by the other side by giving gadgets and all. It will be very difficult. Honestly speaking, by the time a 3-year-old joins our Montessori, we are noticing they are already gadget addicted. It takes, you can clearly see child demanding our teacher to open YouTube rhymes in mobile and show them, asking them to call their parents. So it takes 3 to 4 days or almost 1 week for some children to control them, bring them back to interest in activities and all. After 4th or 5th day, we can see the child happily coming to school, doing activities, enjoying the company of friends and all. But again, that has to be sustained. So parental participation is absolutely, they hold 33% responsibility.
So very, very respectful to see, see that you're a man of principle and you're not just, you're walking the talk. At home also you're implementing, and that's the principle. And it's the same values that you're bringing into the school too. So sir, all this, how did you get on this path to be an educator? What inspired you to become an educator?
See, in 10th class itself, when people asked me what you want to become, I told teacher. Very few children nowadays say, even today morning, I am addressing a study guidance seminar and coming. I was addressing a team of 90 students and only one said she wants to become a teacher. But of course, more of them become teachers in the future. Teaching field is like, I keep saying teaching field is like the Ratna Garbha. All the fields they try, and when they don't succeed, they come back to teaching, and teaching field invites them. If you have minimum skills, come develop the children. Yeah. So my own family with whom I was brought up, there were teachers. My grandfather and my maternal uncle were teachers. I used to see before my eyes what respect they gave. And then there were 2-3 teachers in my school. I was a residential student. I come from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. So I had a 7-year-long education there, where some of the teachers inspired me big time. So since childhood, I wanted to become a teacher. After becoming a teacher, and when I was feeling it is too much formal we are doing here, just teaching them, prepping them for exams, sending them, them getting certificates, getting some jobs and all. But are we really, see, the kind of education we used to get, it was beyond just education in that residential setup, which I was feeling strongly that we are unable to replicate here as a teacher. So I started doing more and more research on what better I can do to the student community. As I was participating in classes, I started loving students more and their innocence, and the problems they are facing compared to our generation. These children are facing a lot of problems. It is very easy to say, you guys are addicted to gadgets, that's your mistake. I would say addiction to gadgets is not their mistake. It is the mistake of the environment or the society in which they are being brought up. The only way is to control it, and unfortunately they are unable to decide. You talk to any child, any adolescent aged between 13 and 18 or 19, they have all good ideas. Unfortunately, they cannot. A child comes to me and says, sir, I really want to score like this. I really want to perform like this, but I'm unable to focus. This is my distraction. This is my distraction. How do you want me to get out of it? So they want to, but they are unable. So this empathy is what made me start this Regional Institute of Teenage Employment, wherein I'm trying to teach them how to keep your own mind under your control. So this is what we have been trying. So what I say is, when I was teaching them and when I was understanding their problems, I felt there is a little more to be done beyond just teaching them chemistry. That is when I started doing research. I started doing these courses like life coaching, career guidance certification and all. And more I learned, more passionate I became, in implementing better things. So instead of merely going around the schools and giving a session and coming back, how much really can you contribute? So if you have your own school, and if you have at least a few hundreds of children passing out from your ideologies, at least they are being benefited. I can't change the whole nation, right? So let us contribute to how much possible. So that's what made me do school also.
Sir, I'm sure
indirectly
that's the beginning
become
of
an educator.
Snowball, and you're set to change the whole nation.
Yeah. Really. So the teachers who have brought me up and the students whom I taught in the beginning of my career, these two people inspired me to be an educator. That's what I could.
You are very passionate. That's definitely coming, but you're also a very progressive thinker.
Yeah.
And one progress that's happening in our country is NEP. A very good step for preschool, definitely a step forward, but even in higher education. Sir, your thoughts on that would be excellent for us.
You can see a series of 5 videos on NEP in my YouTube channel. I have done a detailed research on this. And then I have written few blogs to Skoolz platform also on the same. 4 or 5 blogs must be there.
Yes.
During this research, what I have understood, the whole 63-page document that has come out, if it has to be put in nutshell, National Education Policy 2020 wants us to move from formality to practicality.
Yeah.
What I was talking about. And
Yes.
honestly speaking, many implementations I am doing in this school are ideas from NEP only. And while I was going through that document, believe me, I was feeling I was in a fairyland. Because as an educationist, as a teacher, as a founder of the educational institution, whatever the laggings I was feeling, they mentioned, as well as the solutions they have listed out. So if implemented properly, absolutely India is going to progress towards new age education with National Education Policy 2020. The only biggest concern here is whether or not all the schools will be ready to take up all the pains that NEP is asking us to do. Because it is very easy to keep it formal. It is very easy for me to teach, give the notes, correct the notes, give a test, correction, give the correction, list out marks, give away the marks. But what the assessment of holistic education, the knowledge and holistic education they are talking about by establishing PARAC, this is something that requires a lot of effort from management side as well as teachers side. And obviously when effort increases, investment increases. And then NEP is expecting us to, include vocational education in the schools, include professional courses like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. in schools. Now what happens? And it wants us to make the education multidisciplinary.
Yes.
Now what happens? Children should be asked to take choice, which is the biggest change I can tell. Otherwise, whether or not I am going to use this, I am forced to study.
True.
And that becomes very difficult. One recent example I can tell you, one of my close friends, he came and sat before me, the child studies in CBSE. He said, only if my child could pass this 10th class. I know what he is good at, so I'll surely put him there. Only if my child passes through this 10th class. This is a child who wakes up 4:30 in the morning and does cycling until 7 o'clock. He's so fit physically and he's too good at 2 sports. So nobody needs to demand him to, wake up, do exercise, go for sports, maintain that physical strength. But to study science and mathematics, you have to force him like anything, still he doesn't. Now the father is praying, if he could finish this, I'll put him into the best physical education school in the country. So that he can just choose his career in whatever he loves. And I don't know how his prayers work. Exam was cancelled. So he passed through. He passed the whatever. Now he's studying somewhere in North India. I forgot the name of the school, but he's studying in one of the very good physical education schools. So the father is very clear. My child is going to study BPEd. Now, what if this child was told, even the sports talent that you have will be made to assess you finally, so that even that will have credibility and that will help you pass through. So if you are low in this, show what you are better. When recently in all my institutions, in EduShrine or in New Citizen School, I am telling all the teachers, don't just say slow learners, say academically slow learners.
Wonderful way of saying that.
Don't label them. Because if you just say slow learners, back of our mind, we are fixing that this fellow is fit for nothing.
Yeah.
If the same child, show him a movie, and within 10 minutes, you ask him the narration, he gives a beautiful narration. He can tell you the nuances of the characters also. He can tell you what is not shown in the movie. Likewise, there are many things which they can do, so their grasping is not important. Only these academics might be a hard nut to crack for them for many reasons. For the kind of fundamental background that they have, for the kind of schooling they had, etc. So please don't use the word slow learners. Please use the word academically slow learners. In other things, he might be a fast learner. So that is what NEP is exactly trying to do for us. Assess the child from all the angles, find his strengths, find his weaknesses, and see if we can channelize his strengths and make him better. The very meaning of education, it comes from the Latin word educare, The very meaning of education is to bring out or to put forth, which Socrates puts in our right lines. Education doesn't mean filling of empty vessels, it is kindling of a flame. So the wax has all the chemical energy required to burn and give light to the world. The only thing educator has to do is to put it in a candle mold, put a wick in the center and ignite it. The chemical energy to burn and give light to the world is hidden within the wax. So don't think children are empty vessels and keep pouring knowledge into them, assuming they are nothing. So to channelize their capacities is what NEP says, which is a fabulous idea, theoretically speaking. So that is when it comes to practical implementation, how far people step back because of the physical constraints is what is my worry. Lastly, if I'm not taking much time.
No, sir, please, it's been enlightening, please.
Okay. One more very good thing NEP has done is formalizing the pre-schooling. See, in India, what happens? There is no proper, standard instructions related to children of 2.5 to 6 years. Whereas majority of the brain development happens during these 2.5 to 6 years. You ask anybody, any neurobiologist, any child psychologist, anybody who is related to child growth, they will say 2.5 to 6 years are crucial formative years of the children. And for that age group, we don't have any structure of education. So the parents, some parents join them, say for example, there is a Canadian preschool. A parent joins Canadian preschool. A parent joins them American preschool. Or a parent joins them Montessori methods, which is Italian.
Yeah.
If none of these are available in their surroundings, as well as sometimes what happens, I join them here in this preschool, then again for first standard, I should search for a regular school. Seat may or may not be available. So they feel it convenient to join them to nursery in a school that has up to 10th class. And most of the schools who have from nursery to 10th class, the nursery and the pre-primary are made such a formality. Nursery to 2.5 to 3.5 years, so it is not more than a crash actually. Children come sleep and go in most of the schools. So because there is no standard instructions from the government, the pre-primary education was very confusing in the country. And forget about government-run Anganwadis. They were merely nutrition centers. There were no learning centers. So, and that is the biggest problem. If you check ASR report, Annual State of Education report for past 3 years, repeatedly it keeps saying 53% of children aged between 14 to 18 years do not have simple literacy and numeracy. Means they can't speak and write in their own mother tongue properly, and they can't do simple mathematical operations like additions, multiplication, subtractions. So literacy and numeracy are two things which are necessary to grow in any field actually. If they want to study well in the future, learn well in the future, score their marks and all. And that literacy, numeracy has to be founded well in their minds during these years, 2.5 years. Yeah. Unfortunately, there was no structure for this so far. Now, by bringing 3-year-old child under RTE, NEP has done a fabulous thing. They are telling that even Anganwadi teachers will be trained so that even in Anganwadis, apart from providing nutrition, even education will be provided. Yes. So surely we are looking at a much better India. They are keeping 2035 as the target to achieve all these objectives. And if achieved really, we are going to surely progress. Only thing is implementation level. People should not step back no matter whatever. See, education is supposed to be a non-profit sector. Yeah. I understand. So even if it is recurring our expenses, we need to ensure we provide them and then ensure that the ideologies of NEP will be implemented in every institution. That's what I do. And I promise all the parents who are joining my institution that it will be done.
I for one, I'm very sure because your institution is centered around overall well-being of a child. This is not running behind a marks, or this is not about a percentage. This is about learning and being the best that the child can be. I for one, I'm definitely would put my child in. So that's for sure. Sir, with all this progressive thought process and all, our initiative at school is also to be progressive, help parents connect with the school. So your feedback about Skoolz platform?
I'm telling you, it is boon for both institutions and parents. So you are connecting both of us very effectively, and the kind of activities right now, what we are doing right now, it's a very novel idea. See, anybody who does an institution does it with a lot of objectives, lot of aspirations. And these ideas being put online, and I know very well Skoolz has got fabulous number of subscribers, and it is going viral like anything online. So more people watch these things, and we indirectly see today. Some others watch my interview. Similarly, you are interviewing many more people like me, or people who are more visionaries than me, and I watch those interviews indirectly without meeting each other. We are exchanging our ideas like that, and I have gone through each and every one of the blogs in the portal, and every blog is unique by its own, and I could notice how Mr. Srinivas, how he is encashing the intellectual strength of the country.
Yes.
When I was reading each and every blog, I can notice how clear and how specific their ideas are.
Yes.
In terms of parenting, I could see. In terms of selection of schools, I could see. In terms of information, let it be. So all these aspects, very good number of blogs, and within short time, I can see the number of blogs increasing day by day in the portal. I've been a regular visitor of the portal. I can see the number of blogs increasing day by day in the portal, which indicates how serious the organizers are about, running the portal and making it more public online. So it's surely necessarily a boon, very much required. I myself, apart from registering my school in the portal, I've been recommending it to multiple managements whom I know.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the support.
Absolutely. You will be helping us a lot in the coming future as the subscribers of the portal go on increasing. That I'm very confident. So I'm hoping that our school becomes popular online with the help of Skoolz. And I'll be very happy to do more and more sessions for the schools like this.
Thank you so much, sir, for those kind words and for your support. We are definitely looking for a very positive association with you and your organization. I heartily thank you, sir. You have given us so much of insight and knowledge. And more than that, thank you for keeping the child's both the facets of nurture and nature in focus. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for being on Leader Speak series for Skoolz.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.